Alright, hey guys, Mitch here from the AudioDabbler YouTube channel, and I'm going to take another look at BM3 today, and I keep seeing several people have posted in several different places about there not being an EQ inside of BeatMaker 3, and that's not the case at all. And so I'm going to show you basically what is an EQ. So if we jump over here to AFX PQ, which is an EQ, you can see you have a low shelf gain. So you have a low shelf, you have a high shelf, which you can adjust, and it's kind of, should have got a pin out, but it kind of does it in a, not in a kind of fashion where it rolls off the frequency, and you can move, you can adjust the frequency all the way over if you want, and it just kind of picks up the whole frequency spectrum as you adjust the gain, or it brings it down, but it does it more in like a shelf fashion, like a linear type. And then you have peaks, which you can see it's going up or down, and so if you bring a peak down, it's kind of like a notch, and if you bring it up, it's more like a peak. And then you can adjust how narrow or wide it is, and the same thing here. So basically there's 4 filters in this AUFX PQ. That's what it is. It's basically 4 filters. There's a low shelf filter, a high shelf filter, and 2 peak filters. Well, if you look inside BeatMaker 3, if I go down here to the effects, I have SV6 here, and let me see if I can zoom in. It's about as far as I can zoom. But anyway, so I'm just going to focus in on this part of it. And so if you got SV6 here, and you have 6 different filters. Okay, so if you click on filter 1, I have a high pass filter, but I could put a low shelf. So actually, let's just do this. Let's delete, let's add SV6. So we're kind of starting from scratch. So right now it's a peak. Okay, and so I can go up in resonance or down. And so whereas the other one had peak and you can go up or down, this one can just kind of go up. But if you want the notch, then you need to put a notch filter and it'll kind of go down, and you can adjust the frequency that way. Alright, and then you have bandpass filter, but it's still EQing the sound. And so if you wanted to set something up kind of like what it was in PQ, then you could set a high pass filter over here, or actually you would want to do a high shelf, and see, then you can adjust. It's kind of adjusting a little bit different than what it is over on PQ, but you can still get a very similar. If you can turn the resonance down, and then you can see this whole area over here is moving up or down based on the frequency. Okay, then you could do number 2, you could put it as a low shelf, and then you can start adjusting that way, however you want to. So you can really start sculpting the sound. And then you could 3, if you wanted to do a peak, put a little peak filter right here. And you don't have necessarily the full range of shaping the size of the peak. But you can easily put a bandpass right there, or like a band shelf, and that's going to kind of raise it up in a certain area, and you can resonate it. And so that could be more so like the different peaks right there, you see? And so really this is the filter, and so, or this is the EQ. And if you go under layer effects, you know, you could do an SV filter. So if you really wanted to just dive in and filter out this one particular sound that I have loaded up here, it's just a so you know, you could put a low pass filter here, or you could put a low shelf on this side, you could put a high shelf on that side, and really start just kind of sculpting, you know, sculpting the sound how you want to. And so I mean, that's pretty much it. So you have a 4-band you have the potential inside each of the layers of 4-band filter, or 4-band filters that can act as EQs, and then the same way under the specific pads or an entire bank, you have other filters that would act as a kind of like a 6-band EQ, and you can really get in and start shaping the sound how you want. And so it does have a filter, or it does have an EQ, it's just named a filter. And I mean, that's all an EQ is just a kind of a filter that it's, you know, trying to think how to put it. It's it does it a little bit different, and it's just really a naming convention. You know, Beatmaker 3, they chose to name them filters instead of an EQ, but inside this filter, I mean, you have all different kinds of, inside this one filter you have all different kinds. You can have up to 6, and so you could really shape the sound, probably more so than you can with Peak Q, because you can have 6, and this really only has 4. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this shedded some light on the lack of EQ that people seem to not be able to find or understand inside of Beatmaker 3, but it does have a very extensive equalizer with its SV6 filter. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.